So I am supposed to finish the video on Canva, but I'm going to do that later today. I just want to introduce Pixel Lab. So you see the difference. This is a typical environment of Pixel Lab. All right. So sorry about that. This is a typical environment of Pixel Lab. I just wanted to introduce it for us to understand how it works. Alright, so on Pixel Lab you have plain pixel, like it is called. Different parts. You have to be very creative. Now let me explain something about skills. I have thought about it and it is written clearly on the, I think, option 4, pursuing skills, gifts and talents of the Starting Life book. Alright, so that you understand what it is. Now for every kind of skill, if you are not creative, you will just have the skill without use. It's just the truth. Any skill you learn that is not in line with your gifting, you cannot use it to create. You will be struggling with it. In fact, you cannot even function. If someone learns programming because programming pays high and they are not analytically creative, they cannot create. They can't even generate algorithm. They cannot even, you will even give them solution, they will not even know that programming can solve it. It's the same thing for all other areas. If someone learns how to sing and they are not creative in singing, they are not gifted with a gift to sing, they will be struggling with it. It will be like, I just know how to sing, and they can't express themselves in it. You just know how to use your voice to sing, and it's going to be a very difficult thing and a degrading thing. So for graphic design, a Pixel Lab gives you that kind of opportunity where you express your creativity and your ingenuity. Someone who is not graphically creative may not be able to utilize Pixel Lab to do anything. That's why Canva, I introduced Canva first, because Canva have templates. I'm going to upload a video on Canva perhaps by the grace of God tomorrow or before the weekend runs out. So a typical environment of Pixel Lab is what you're seeing. This environment is your working environment. In CorelDRAW we call it workspace. Right now you have your default menu here. Like towards the upside, you have your default menu, your home menu here, and of course you know what you can do with your home menu. Is usually for your major actions that you want to take outside the application. For instance, if you look here, you will see plus sign used to create a new let me call it pixel, a new shape, any new thing you want to bring into the workspace. All right, now you will also, if you look by the side, you also see this button. The button shows like that shape you are seeing that you will always see it on many apps. It's actually a shape of diskette. Those days, the first form of digital storage device. So that's how diskette looks like. So but that's for you to save whatever you have done, either to save it as update. Before, there's no update on Pixel Lab, but either to save it as update or save it, export it as image. And then you can see the next one for share button. Everybody that uses Android knows that this is for sharing. So you want to share whatever you've done. Of course, this is for quotes. That's the only thing Pixel Lab adds as a preset. So you can import a quote that reflects whatever you want to talk about and put in it. There are 3 dots that show other options here, and there is the undo button, there is the zoom out button, and there is the display one, and this other icon. Of course, this is the Pixel Lab general icon. So if you come below here, you will see a lot of formats of this thing you can use. Now if you look at the first thing you're seeing here, you see my project. That's the work you've done, you saved as updates, so you can just bring it up again and continue your design. Now but there is a default workspace template, which is this first one. You're seeing it here, default, and it's saying add test. So for instance, you just want to show, right, okay, this is the topic of this discussion, you could just change the text you are seeing here to whatever you want. I'll show you how to do that. There are other forms of templates you can add. You can see the theme, all these ones. The theme you can always deploy for your casual designs. All right, say you just want to make a post. Now let me show you something. If you look at the base too, you will see you will notice that this thing here is highlighted, is showing blue to show that this is where it is. So that's where you pick your themes from, right? Your background. But you can also see the A representing the text button where you can get your text. You can also see here, from here you will see more backgrounds. Let me just click on it so that you see this is text. So you can get your quotes, add text, and then when you have clicked on a typical text, the entire text menu will appear. So I will not discuss that now. So if you look at this here, you can add stickers, add shapes, and all of the arrows and whatever you want to do on your, or import images from your file. Here is your background, the next one. So you can add image from gallery, from your camera, your phone, and you can just alter just for image handling. But there's also where you can use to change the background to transparent, but I think I should rather leave it on the default. So you can see from the last part of it, you are seeing the transparency where you manipulate the display of the graphics you've done. So you can change, you can rotate it, add a vignette feature. You can do the noising. Of course, those that are involved in photography, they understand what noising is, to make it more original and more authentic. So things like this happen. I will show you how to use it more. To change your theme towards a stripe, it's up to you. Increase brightness, reduce contrast, hue, saturation, and all of them. So this is the general view of Pixel Lab environment. Now if you select an icon, the general Pixel Lab icon here changes to default options, whether you could edit it, that's the pen, you could edit it, this pen, or you want to delete it at all. So this icon, like an open basket, is your delete. So now let me say the last thing on these 3 dots here. If you open it, you will see that's where you can change. Now you can just get an image from your phone as your background. You can switch the display on your screen so you know what you're doing more. You can use image from camera, export what you're working on as image. Now change the image size. Now we will use this image size very, 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 very well in the next design. Today is Thursday as our normal way. So aside those, I may watch this thing later. So but from the image size, you can change your default image size to either a YouTube banner, Facebook banner, normal Facebook post, WhatsApp post, Instagram post, or anything you want to change it to as a default, or you change the size by yourself, and then you can see the contacts, you can see the tutorials, you can see remove ads. Of course, Pixel Lab does not do so much of ads. Auto save. Now open PHP file. That's for those of us that do more about coding. You want to know about Pixel Lab, you can exit. Now one important thing about what I've shown you is that with the tutorials, you can just click on it and it will load you on YouTube, so you can see more on how you can manipulate your thing on Pixel Lab. But this is not what I want to talk about right now. I'll just show you the things I can show you before we go on to do more things with Pixel Lab. This is for people who are learning graphic design, and you need it at least for your own basic graphics, before you get professional graphic designer to design some important ones for you. So I would stop. Okay, let's just do a small graphic design, small graphics. Let's say, there's another thing I like about Pixel Lab. I think I can get it somewhere. I think I'll get it out, but there is a place where, okay, it's not on this one. It's on Poster My Wall that there are logo icons. So unfortunately, you can't get it on Poster My Wall. So we are not using Poster My Wall here. So, but then you can always change your theme to whatever you want to change it to, and have whatever you want to have. And even when you have this default, you can delete that icon, change the theme to whatever you want, include whatever logo you want to include by clicking on this arrow. Let's say I have this, and then I can duplicate it by saying copy, and change the color of the image. If I change the color of the image to, okay, say blue, I think I would show us how to handle colors on Pixel Lab. Then I can send this to the front by going to, yes, like this, and then I can reduce it to now this is why I say Pixel Lab is not for non-creatives. If you are not a creative person in graphic design, you will struggle with Pixel Lab, I can assure you, because let's say I want to add a text around this white icon. Now if you don't know it before, you might struggle, but you should be able to replicate what you can visualize in your head. So let's say I want to add, okay, let's just say starting live network, and then I want to put it here. You can see that there's no such thing. You can only rotate it using this icon here, but there's no such thing here. I have to use the bezier to bend it so that it will align. So yeah, I'll use the curve tool, curve it, keep curving it till I get whatever I want. You can see. Of course, but like I said about creativity, if I use this for starting live network, it's not going to make a lot of sense because it does not reflect what we represent or our operation, right? It does not represent. It might somehow represent it because of the global nature of our operation, but then it does not paint the direct picture. Because the network, it has to be a group of persons joining together. Now I'm trying to interpret what the logo or what typical graphics would be like. It would be like money hands joining together, or and having a growth icon like a network, like a ladder growth icon, things like that. And of course the theme would have to be something like green. Later on the next design, on the next series I'm going to upload, I will share about it. I would have loved to do everything now, but it's going to be very long, so I wouldn't want that to happen. You can see we already have 13 minutes, and I don't want to be exceeding 15 minutes in our designs. Let's say this is our logo. Let them leave. So I want to put it here. So I'll go back and get my curve tool. Now I want to curve it up, so I'll take it back. But it's still not very fine, so I think it will be better now. Yeah, so the next thing I can do, I can choose to add a ladder to it. But can I get a ladder on Pixel Labs shaped as a ladder? I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that exactly. So what will I do? I'll need to get some stripes. Need to get some stripes, or draw some lines directly and use and do it. Or I'll use this shape here. I'll use this shape here to represent growth. So I think that will serve me too. So let me bring this up, and then I need to rotate it, but I also might need to change the color so that it will be visible. Red is not a sign of growth. Red is danger, so I need to change it to something like green so that to represent what I want to do. And then I will change the direction because I want it to be on growth, so I can put something like this. A typical logo I'm designing, okay, I need something like a hand. So what am I going to do? I'm not sure there is something like a direct hand on Pixel Lab shape. I can see a heart, so I will likely have to go and get a sticker that might represent hands. So you can see that there are badges here. So since I can't find exactly a hand, and I wouldn't want to use these ones that you can see on my screen right now, what I'm going to do is I can go and get fingers or get hands from online and then crop them and then come and put them here. Yeah, once I do that, it will become. But I can also add stars to represent human beings, depending on the concept I want to create. Let me look for shape and get stars. This is star, so I can do this, but the color is white, so it's not making sense. So for the distance, let me say the people that want to change, to grow. Okay, let me put red. Let me assume that their lives were on red. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? But then let me assume that their life were on red, or let's say it's blue. Blue means that it has not been fully developed to me, the way I interpret it. So let me assume it's blue, and then I can duplicate it in multiple folds. I can duplicate it and put it here. So let's say, let me change this. Then create another one, duplicate another one, another one. Let's say make the last one. So let me put a very small one on center. Now that does make sense, although not that much. But then with this, you can see somewhat some level of creativity showing itself. That means if anybody is not very creative, you will not be able to use Pixel Lab on its own, which is why I said it was better I started with Canva, so that with templates on Canva, it will be easier for you to really maximize what we are working on. All right, so I'm having a fake logo. Now there's a problem about Pixel Lab. You cannot group icons or group whatever you design together. There's no this thing like that. I've not seen it. I don't think there is. Right, for many years I've used it, unless perhaps they update it and begin to give that kind of a thing that you can group different elements together. I'm not sure, I've not seen it, and it would be a lie to tell you that I have seen it. So in this case, I can just export or save it. Let me save it as project first. SLN logo 1. So, and I can the ad is coming.
Indulge in an exclusive serving of special privileges. Select out.
Don't mind that ad. It has gone. So now I can try to export this by clicking here and then save it as image. Once I save it as image, it comes to my phone directly. So this is how a typical graphics is designed, and this is what Pixel Lab is like. In our next video, I'm going to show you more on how to utilize it more for what we want to do. So you can download Pixel Lab on your Play Store or application stores. Thank you so much. This is me. Okay. So maybe let me just do small arrangement on this. So this is the error I was talking about. You cannot rearrange this thing. You can select them, group them, and push them out at the same time. So let me again save this as image, and I am done.